All right, and then we have our final example of our logo motion, which is the easiest one. For this lesson, we're not going to focus on 3D effects or just effects in general. We're just going to use the properties that are available for each of the layers, and that way this is going to be a lot more easier than the stuff we were doing so far. Let's make a new composition. I'll name this logo 3. Down here, just make the duration 10 seconds because we always end up cutting it later, maybe 15. And we're going to hit OK. Let's bring in our logos. Again, the same one. Import as, composition, retain layer sizes. And then we're just going to double click in here. All right. We're first going to delete the text. We don't need it. For shape, we're going to just pre-compose the shape layer. Move all attributes to new composition. Call this logo base. Hit OK. All right, I'll delete this. Let's bring logo base in this guy, in logo 3. All right, let's make a white solid so we can see what we're doing. Call this BG. And there's our white solid. Before I start, I'm just going to hit S to just scale up our logo. This is going to be the main focus in the beginning. Hit P, and we're just going to bring it below then the center line. Something like that. Or we can do that later. Just hit S and increase the size. I did mine about 187%. And then we're just going to hit M to close that. So the technique we're going to use is mask paths that we've used quite often now. You should be pretty familiar with. Just select your shape and then get your pen tool. You're going to get this mask icon and just go in the bottom. First hit Control or Command R to get the ruler. Control R. Drag one ruler below all of the lines and then one in between. Guess you can line it up with this guy. So start from one corner. You can zoom in if you need to. And let me come down a little. Going to start from the bottom, so we need to get a nice view of here. So this is at an angle, right? It's not exactly a perfect straight rectangle, so we need to create an angled rectangle following the same direction as this. Open this up, hit M on this. We have mask 1. Turn this to subtract, just so we can still see what we're doing. Still see the image, I mean. And I want to leave a space between the edge of this logo and the edge of our mask path. So we're going to go for something like this. Again, align it with the edge here. So that's our first mask path. You can select it, Control T to just move it up a little. You can still rotate it if you saw that it's not good enough. Just look at the angle here. You can bring it up here for reference. Okay, and then bring it down below or on the line. Just don't hit the edge of that. All right, click away. Turn this to add again. Or actually subtract because we are not finished yet. Click on the logo base again, not on the mask. And we're going to grab this and just do the same thing for all of the other shapes. So you can see this is yellow now, 2 different masks, but for the same shape. Make a rectangle, simple one, and then we're just going to do this. And then hit Control T on that mask. Oops. You just select the mask path first. Open this guy up, select this, and then hit Control T or Command T. Again, bring it up here for reference. Want to make sure it's in the right angle, so we don't have hiccups when we're editing and moving the mask path. Also, again, be careful about the edges here. You want it to be larger than the edge. You can use your arrow keys to just make a more precise placement. Alright, and then we have our final shape. Again, click the logo and make another shape. For this one, we can go for, it is a triangle, but we still need to make a rectangle. So just because it has a different shape doesn't mean that we get to add a different mask shape. Because we want them to all be the same, no matter what. Open mask 3, select mask path, Control T. Again, just check the direction of this and make sure they all look kind of the same. And there we are. Move them up a little bit with the arrow keys. Again, watch out for the edge here. And just click away. Alright, so turn the first one to add as well. We want to do this. And then we're going to go for, select this logo layer, type mask path. So we're just going to get the mask path for all of the 3 ones. And we're just going to turn on the stopwatch. So it's going to be like this first. Move it maybe 2 seconds in. Move out. Adjust your view. Remember, this was like the middle, so it's not the top. Get your pen tool, and we're just going to reveal each one by one. So this is green. Click anywhere, and we're just going to reveal. And again, move with the direction of the shape. So I'm going to go all the way up here. Watch out for the edge. Get my other top, and make sure that the sky is like this and not that way. So they stop at the same time. If we play this back, you can see it's appearing slowly like so. You could do this. That's how it looks like. Or you could do something like this. Get the mask again. Again, come to the tip. But for the second one, just end it where this dude ends. But again, leave an equal space. And if you play this back, it's going to be moving at an angle and it's going to reveal the thing. I think I'm going to stick with this because we don't really have a straight rectangle. We have a tilted one. So we need to make the mask move in that direction. Okay, mask 2. Gonna select the edge and just reveal our second shape. All the way to the top. The second point. There we are. Then our third shape, just click anywhere, delete that, expose the final shape. Equal sides. So basically we are revealing each of these guys at an angle, because that's how the logo is. For the triangle one, we should delete what we did and start over. We need to move the second, oops. We need to move the second line as well. So just get this here. Get that here and bring this up like this. See if that's better. It was kind of awkward first. Alright. Perhaps we could do a triangle. I think a triangle will be better. We need 3 points and not 2. Delete the extra lines, delete that, and can keep the tilted angle, but just bring this guy down so it's one line, 1 point that we're moving, not one line. Moving forward, and just drag this guy, drag that singular line, point, and reveal the thing. Gotta move the first point. Let me first adjust the line. So if I bring this up, turn this to add. If I bring this up, trying to fix this point in the back. So just bring it in a way that if you were to kind of slide this up, you're going to get the whole triangle in. All right, so this is our shape now. Delete that, turn on the mask path, come in with the other guys and just reveal the final part of our logo. Okay, so now they should all appear nicely. We're going to adjust the speed and all, don't worry about that. Select all keyframes, F9. And of course, we're going to go into graph editor and just, before we do that, let's offset. So the second one, which is the yellow one, we're going to offset it by a few seconds. The third one as well. I don't want them all appearing at the same time. Okay, but the third one is a little late, so we need to fix that. I'm gonna come maybe here. Let's have a look. All right. Try that again. Okay, that's better. All right, so we're gonna grab this after we've offsetted the points, and we're gonna just do the slide theory again. I'm gonna get the selection tool, not the pen tool, and grab the corners to just simply do this slide effect that we talked about. Click that again to get out, and now we have a more fun look compared to what we had, and it's just looking something like this. Even after you did the offsetting, you can still come back and grab these guys to make the speed and the order in the way you like it. So you saw that we were able to get this really nice animation. Let's close this, and I'm just going to do something to the background since this white thing is not going to make our simple animation stand out. Go to Window, Effects and Presets, and I'm going to show you guys the gradient ramp that I didn't get to show in the last lesson. Put this on BG. So this is what a gradient ramp looks like. You can choose the start color and the end color. If you grab this, you get to position the direction of which the color is coming from. So I'm going to do it here. Then we have the black that's over here. So I don't want black and white. Click on the black. You can choose perhaps like a really light gray or something like this. You can change this to radial ramp if you want. It's going to be, you can see there's like a circle. So if I put this here and I bring this here, you can see it's like a circle. But if you make it linear, it's going to be like a line. So I want it to be linear from one side, one corner to the other in a diagonal motion. And just like the 4-color gradient, we can change the position. So if I go to start color and then maybe move in a few frames, change the color to like this. Because we have the thing turned on, you can see that it slowly transitions to red. And we can also change the position. Start ramp. Start off ramp, turn that on. Come in 2 seconds. You can move this in other places. If you want a, oops, hold on. Turn that off, start off ramp. Hit U on this. Oh, not on this one, sorry. On BG, hit U. Come in here and we get to maybe grab this guy and put it here. So you can see it's slowly moving up. It's not that vibrant. Let's get a red, maybe. grab this one here so we can see the effect more clearly. So you can see it's shifting towards the direction we chose. And yeah, so that's just how the gradient ramp works. If you wanted to use it in the previous lesson or in this lesson, it's really easy to use. All right, so this is my background. I'm not going to turn on any keyframes because I want it to be solid throughout. And if I turn on my logo base, we're just going to get this effect. I will move this to the center, get the align tab to be more precise, align it in the center. Okay. And we already scaled it up. So make sure it stays scaled. All right, now let's move on to the next part. I'm going to make it scaled down because we're going to reveal the text. Before that, I'm just going to prepare my text. Hit T or Control T for the text tool. Click anywhere and just write your text. Creative design. Control A. Choose the color black maybe. Let's do something like that. Again, Control A. Bring it to the center. I'm going to make creative a bold look. Let's try X bold. I like them to be on one line. Control A, bring them below. I'm going to come in to where my logo is so I can see the size, maybe adjust it a little bit. All right, I think that will do. Okay, so we have our text. We changed the font and all. Now, after the logo has shown up, let's turn text off for a second. We're going to hit S on our keyboard on the logo layer. Turn on the stopwatch. We're going to make it a kind of bounce inward and then go out. So instead of 180, type in 200. And then at like 4 seconds, it goes back to its original size. It was 100, but I'm going to make it 130 because it was a little too small. So it has kind of a hiccup motion. It comes in and then it goes down. I'm going to grab these guys, easy ease, by hitting F9, go to graph editor. And again, we want to do the thing. So I want the beginning where it's zooming in to be slow, but when it goes backwards into the original size, I want it to be a little faster. So it's going to be like this. That's why we left the first ramp, this guy, like this. So it's slow, fast, and then slow. Okay. Let me adjust this like this. Let's have a look. I like that. All right, after it's scaled in, we're going to hit M to close that, and then hit P because we wanted to kind of reveal the text. So without turning on this, we're going to bring this guy down to where I want the text to show. I'm going to grab the ruler just so it can guide the text. Put it here. So this guy needs to go over the ruler and reveal the text. Turn on text. It's a little too big now. Control A. Let's go for 60 maybe. Too big. I want to make sure it's a size that fits on the bottom of the shape. All right. I'm gonna go back here and just maybe move it a little up, just until we're not seeing the text at all. Hit V to get your selection tool, turn on the stopwatch. And I forgot to add a previous one. So first it's going to be in the middle where it was. I think it was here. Then it's going to make its way down and then it's going to go back up to where it was. Let me just check here. It was 572. So we want to make sure here it's also 572. In the exact same position, delete the previous one. So it's going to, let me hit U and see the scale. All right, so position needs to happen after it's scaled. Move these a bit to the right, hit F9. Hit U again to close that. P. So it's going to scale in and it's going to come down to reveal the text. Go into graph editor. So here when it goes down, we want it to be slow. Or let's try the opposite actually. So in the beginning it could be fast and after that it could be slow, or we could try both. Let's see how that looks. I think I like that better. So I did the ramping for both. You can see it does that. All right. Now the text is already there. We gotta add a mask to that. So when it's here, it's going to stay invisible until this text decides to move. Hit Edge, move down. We're going to get the pen tool again, go on the text layer and just make a rectangle to make it invisible basically. And then close the rectangle down. So this is how it looks in the beginning. And go on this, search for mask path or mask path. There we are. Turn on the stopwatch. After the guy moves away, we are going to move and kind of reveal the text by moving up the 2 points. Again, try to get an equal position for the points. Zoom in a little bit. That way we won't get like a slanted reveal. We will get them happening at the same time. All right. And again, mind the space between each of the things. Hit V, and this is where we get to adjust the speed. All right, so it's too slow. You can see, hold down Control and press the right arrow key to move in frame by frame. So you can see here it kind of jumps. That means we need to bring this in faster. Again, Control right arrow key or Command right arrow key. Then we have to go in here and first F9 the keyframes. And this is what it looks like without F9. You get this square, really rough animation, and that's just not what we're looking for. Now that we F9, it's going to be like this. Grab the end and just do the ramp slide that we talked about. Slow, and then it reveals. Now we get to move and work with the timing. Maybe try to slow it down a little bit. All right. Now the text is a little too low. And hit P on the text and just move it up a little bit, maybe here. Let's try that. All right, there we are. If it's a little too low, you can always just go back to the position keyframe and have it in the right position. All right, I'm going to add motion blur to logo base. Hit toggle switches, turn on this guy and this guy for the text. Hit M, close that. And I'm going to grab both and let me first see if everything is okay. Close the extra panel so we get a little room for our view. Hit fit. So we get the logo coming in and then it scales down. Then it comes down to show our text. All right, so this is a little too slow. I'm going to grab both of these guys, not the backgrounds. Right click, pre-compose. Call this logo base final. Hit OK, and now we can scale this one without disturbing the scale properties we had for the previous thing. I'm going to go in the beginning and make sure I'm not making the shape come out of frame. Go in the beginning. The logo's there. Does it scaling? It's still in frame. That's what we want. Also, we're going to get the align tab. I feel like it's not aligned well. We could just move it up with the position keyframes. Move it up with Y. Have a look. Always check your animation again once you've adjusted the pre-comp, because sometimes you may do something that causes the logo to maybe go out of frame, and that just ruins what you did so far. So I need to move it up a little bit more. I want it to be in the center. There we are. So the scaling is too slow, and if you ever wanted to change something, just double click on logo base final. Not just go into final and then hit S. You can see that it's a little too slow. I'm going to drag this in like that. Let's go back. Should update the original composition. That's better. Then we get the text. All right, so that was a really simple logo animation. And then after it appears, we could add maybe another kind of a fading animation. So it appears, we can hit T, 100%, 0. Okay, or we could do a mask fade effect. So instead of the whole thing disappearing at once, turn opacity back to 100, we can make it kind of like swipe and then disappear. So select that logo base final, get the rectangle to make a mask as tall as the both the text and the logo. Go on this. Again, search for mask path. Select mask path, Control T, just move it on the edge. All right, I'm gonna hit subtract for a second so I can see that it's tall enough. It is. Go back to add, and now we're just going to delete this. Go to mask 1. We're going to feather the edge quite a lot, or at least let's do that after we did the motion so we can see the difference. Turn on mask path. Maybe come in 8 seconds and just grab the pen tool to just simply reveal the rest. I'm going to again use the rulers for guidance. All right. So I can get a nice little equal animation. You can check the edge. The edge is not right. You can see that's why rulers are helpful. It allows us to have a mask path that moves at the same time, and that's really important. So basically, we have this guy showing up. We're just going to do the opposite, so just bring this here. I just switched the keyframes, so it essentially disappears. All right. Again, F9, go back here. Oops. Hit V, not with the pen tool. Grab the corner and do that. All right, so you can do that if you want. I'm going to undo what I did in the speed graph and do it with the other side of the keyframes because I want it to be slow in the beginning and then fast near the end. All right, now that we did this, you can stretch this out as much as you want. Come in the middle maybe, where you can see like the half thing happening, and then we're going to add the feathering. So it like kind of fades away completely. We may have to readjust the position of our final thing. There we are. It's a little too slow. Let's bring it in here. Try that again. Okay, this is what I was talking about. So basically on this last keyframe, select mask path, Control T, and just move it completely out of sight. Delete this one. Bring this maybe a little bit closer. Play that back. All right. Here it appears, it does its thing. All right, I also need to hit Control T and just stop that. I'm going to duplicate logo base final. So this guy appears, bring logo base, let's call this logo base mask. Bring logo base mask above logo base final. Basically where the position ends, hit P on, actually there's no P, that's in the pre-comp, so just see where it ends over here, and then this is where we want the mask to be. Alright, I'm just gonna go on the mask over here, hit M, the mask path, Control T, make it a little bigger, because the bottom was kind of fading out. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. It's actually a good idea to cover the entire composition. Alright, so it does its thing, and then we may have to readjust the mask path because we changed the shape. Delete that, hit Control T on this, and do the same thing. Go in the beginning. Alright, believe we want it to disappear maybe around here. Turn on the stopwatch, come here and just drag the edges to completely get rid of the thing. Gonna come here, hit Control-Shift-D on logo base final, delete the rest, so it does not interfere with our other thing. Forgot to ease these, F9. Can go back here, and I'm only going to do it with the first point. Alright, so we have the logo motion. It appears, it does its thing, and then in the second layer, it's going to disappear. Can make this however short or fast or long you want. There we are. Okay. And then you can make this a looping thing where it will just come, start from the beginning, because we start with the white background and we end with it. That's why it's a looping animation, as you can see. Alright, and that is how you can do a really simple logo animation. As you saw, we didn't really use that many effects. It was just the mask properties that are the options for every single layer in After Effects. And you have basically 3 different options if you were to make your own logo motion. All 3 are very helpful because it creates variety for your logo motions. And you can always just mix around each of the effects you learned in the lessons and apply it to different ones, see what works best for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson, and I will see you guys in the next one.